I think their players are now going to be thinking about going for something a little bit more crazy, as they know that their main builds aren't working as well as they hoped against their enemies.
Yeah, we are going in right now here to the, basically what could be the ace match or tournament killing match right now. We've got DDE spawning for NrG in the northern part here on Xel'Naga Caverns, and in the south Azz for Team VT. I was just informed that both NrG players are up 1 game in their best of 3s, so it is a chance right now for Miri or DDE to end it here and win the tournament. All they need to do is win one of the best of 3 matches. So it's a very, as Basement was mentioning earlier, very close nail biter. Azz played really, really strong. Kind of had a few different plays. I would have liked him to see get the Dark Templar up at his natural, kind of keep that base alive. It's hidden, kind of quote unquote hidden natural. He's going to have to play a little more straight up here. I think he's in for the challenge though. Trying that 4-gate push, but DD just holding on really well. Very effective in its units lost, and it's going to be a really tight match as we're going into the second game here of this best of 3. And either NrG player here or Miri's match has a chance to win the tournament for NrG. And it's going to be really tight. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is Ice from L2SC TV, and I'm joined by Basement Cat.
Of course, this is Xel'Naga Caverns, GDE in the northern position, spawning as the blue Terran, and on the southern position, Azz is our red Protoss player, already going out with a barracks and an early, no, that's a 13 refinery, so a pretty typical refinery, as well as Azz going out with a 12 gateway, no gas room quite yet, which is also typical to see from a Protoss player. DDE did an incredible job in Game 1. Let's see if he can mirror that job in Game 2, as the rush distance in this map is more of a medium rush distance map, so I probably won't expect him to see that 2-rack pressure once again. I would really like to see a 1-1-1 build from DDE. Go for some Banshees to try and kill Azz in the early game, or at least damage him enough that he will be behind the entire game, or go for some siege tanks up against his opponent, or even go for Marine Marauder ball with medevacs to support. It's all possibilities for GDD right now, or DD right now, as he is putting a tech lab on his barracks right now. As I said before, this is a medium rush distance map, so expansions are kind of like a coin flip. You know, it could help you out a lot. It all depends on how much scouting you get on your opponent's base, because if you can catch them doing some sort of rush build, you can be ready for it. But of course, the Terran player has the advantage of keeping his expansion on the high ground until he wants to move it down south, or down to the low ground. And whereas the the Protoss do not have that luxury. I remember watching a game where a player accidentally put his Nexus inside his base.
Ooh.
And then,
off race.
Yeah, he pretty much a couple seconds later he GG'd, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot. Nexuses can't lift off."
There you go. That's what happens when you off race. You got to be careful about that. As being delayed, I think here a little bit, but throwing by the scouting SCV from wanting to throw down his tier 2 tech, forced to chrono boost a sentry out. He does throw in another pylon to block the SCV. SCV still has not died. It will continue on its way out, nice and safe. DDE doing a very good job of getting some Marauders out really quickly. He left a tech lab behind for a second rack, so he will build this safe 2 racks tech lab reactor, so very, very safe opening for the Terran, but he is going to get that command center started very early. Second gate robo going down for Azz, so 2-gate robo for Azz. Again, you can see Azz does have both gas up, fully saturated, so more of the tech play from here. Both players going to like a slightly slower play. No second gas from DDE just yet, but getting that earlier command center, I think, is going to be a huge advantage for him.
Especially since there's going to be tech play coming out from Azz, it's going to make sure that his expansion is going to be more safe. As he does have those 2 racks there. Of course, I know I didn't want to see it, but it is still a good solid play. Building a 3rd barracks right now, no factory quite yet for DDE, so possibly going to go for some heavy Marine Marauder play, and then transition into Marine Marauder medevac and try and steamroll the opponent. Of course, Azz could come up with some early Colossi, which can be effective against a Terran player going Marine Marauder. But it all depends on these sentries right here, because if he has enough sentries to repel those Marines and Marauders, let the thermal lance of the Colossi do their job, it could be a good composition for Azz right now. It all depends on how he uses it. It's more of a micro battle. as TVPs seem to be moving along those lines where micro is becoming more and more a heavy component in their battles, unlike other matchups.
Yes, Sentry Zealot actually out right now. Very, very smooth combination from Az. He's going to get his Nexus started. That's very good while you can get those Immortals started actually right now. So very interesting actually. I haven't seen this since beta. This kind of Zealot Immortal with Sentries with your leftover gas. So very interesting here. Supply blocked Az right now. He's going to get that pylon finished up as quickly as he can. Observer getting into position over DDE's base. Going to get a good look at that expansion. DDE's just on the 3 racks. No additional tech going down just yet. Factory getting started. No Ghost Academy. Interesting. So no factory out just yet for DDE. Ghost Academy first. So he's looking to blind counter those Immortals here, as basically he only saw this the Stalker, or sorry, the Sentry Zealot, and there he sees the Immortal. So he does know that Robo's out. He's going to be blind countering some Robo.
One day I'm going to release a pack of sounds for StarCraft 2 that you can just add to your SE2 or your SE2 MPQ file. And one of them would be that when you build a Ghost Academy, instead of making that generic building sound, it starts playing the Ghostbusters theme. That would be absolutely hilarious.
That would be hilarious. That would be pretty cool.
So you'd be watching a replay, you look at somebody's vision, you look at the Terran player's vision, all of a sudden you hear the Ghostbusters theme, you're like, oh, I know what's going on.
There it is. Yeah.
Ghost Academy, bam.
That'd be very cool. There's no research for the Ghosts yet coming out, but 2 Ghosts are coming out. This is going to be very difficult for Az. Those Ghosts are going to just destroy those Sentries and those Immortals. That's pretty much his entire composition, as the Colossus coming out just now. No Thermal Lances, a 3rd Gateway from Az coming out, but Ghosts are just going to be devastating, especially since his Colossus do not have range. Well-placed EMPs here are going to just destroy this, and I believe this push here from DDE is going to be very, very threatening. As you can see, there's 2 Ghosts in that mix right now.
Of course, Ghosts incredibly powerful as well against Immortals, because they do get rid of their hardened shield, which is what make Immortals Immortals. And I mean, if you get rid of that, I mean, what are Immortals? They're just glorified Stalkers, really, with a huge damage. Ooh, look at that. Coming in with a nice swift attack, but DD gets blocked off by a couple of force fields, and unfortunately gets split up quite easily, and no EMPs. Oh,
there it is.
The first EMP going down for GD, but unfortunately those Ghosts running away for their lives. But there isn't really that big of an army right now for Az. He will get cleaned up, and he has to now back up right now. And I don't believe Thermal Lance has begun, but it's just not going to be enough right now. DD now, both players, Az and DD, going to back out and lick their wounds for the meantime.
Yeah, DDE very aggressive there. He didn't lend very good split from Az. He did see the Ghost coming. Started to split up these units. Observer for Az has just been critical there, seeing those units cross the midfield. He split up the what are they called? Sorry, wow, the Sentries. Oh my god. But losing all the Sentries and both Immortals is put Az way behind again. The unit resources loss is about even, but definitely the ability to actually get those Sentries charging, get those mass force fields out has been changed. 8 gateways, switching on to 8 gateways right now for Az. Nukes coming out right now for DDE. Cloak is not researched, but he does have 5 racks. Medivacs are on their way right now for DDE, so he's going into a bio nuke. He's going to be up against a mass gateway and this kind of 1 robotics bay producing Colossus. 3 Colossus out. Thermal Lance is done. So it's going to be very interesting here. I'm wondering which way this is going to go, as nukes add a whole layer of fun to this game.
Yeah, Az seeing that he has pretty much 1-for-1 in terms of Colossus and Stalkers, so he needs to have more of that gateway warp gate production coming from it. So that's why he built all those gateways, because he saw, okay, normally I have like 20 Stalkers and 3 Colossi. Now I have 3 Colossi and 3 Stalkers. I definitely need more of that gateway production, so he is going to warp in a whole bunch of Stalkers. Look at all that. Now balancing the army a little bit more. Still needs a little bit. Oh, and what a money scan there by Az.
Got everything.
Sees the large saturation of Stalkers as well as the extra warp gates. And from his point of view, it's pretty safe to assume that there are more warp gates inside his main. Possibly another scan can come from him very soon. But look at this, Stargates here from Az. So he maybe decided to go for some Void Ray Colossi in the end, or just maybe go for some Phoenixes to try and lift off some of these units, as well as Phoenix Colossi is a great composition, not because Phoenixes do a lot of damage, it's just because Phoenixes would be used as a meat shield for those Colossi, especially since there's Vikings here. Vikings here are more likely to target those Phoenixes, and if they don't, they're going to die from the Phoenixes, so it's a trade-off there.
Not enough Vikings in the mix there. It looks like no EMP from what I could see got off there, so it's a pretty much 1-to-1 ratio. The Colossus are definitely going to have the advantage here. Not enough Vikings out to be able to deal with those meaty Colossus. Stalkers do tend to tank a lot of damage, so DDE trading a lot of units there, well overcommitting. I don't know if the Ghost got sniped or something like that, but there was no solid EMP from what I could tell. As has completely reversed the tilt of the game. He does again have control. Those 3 Colossus are standing tall, all in red health, might I add, but not falling, which is very important. They will regenerate the shields, and DDE is forced to repopulate pretty much his entire army. There was a lot of Marauders there. It's not going to be difficult. DDE's got pretty good production. He does not have the production of Azz, though. Azz is on 8 gates. And he's still continuing to produce Colossus. That 3rd base is going to be started for Azz probably pretty shortly, and it's going to be very difficult now for DDE. He's got an uphill battle right now. Vikings are going to very much help, but he's going to need some very solid amount of Vikings before he's able to actually take out these Colossus with any definitive pressure.
One thing to note is, of course, the lack of observers from Azz. I'm looking at the units tab right now, only 2 observers, and none of them in his base. So a good nuke drop from DDE could do a lot of damage to Azz, as not only delaying mining, or if you can get rid of those probes, that would be absolutely awesome, because right now he is completely unprepared for it. He has no cannons. He does have a forge right now, so he will be able to build cannons. So right now, time is of the essence. He needs to get that Ghost in there, bring that nuke, and let it rain fire from the skies for just a little bit, as right now Azz is beginning to become an unstoppable force as he's building some more Zealots, a ton of Stalkers, a ton of Colossi. I mean, look at that, 5 Colossi. Wow. Sure, 3 of them are in red, but I think he can just get a couple of shots in there. That's going to be incredibly devastating to a Marine Marauder ball of DDE, as he's becoming a little bit more Marauder heavy, which will help against those Colossi, as well as all of those Vikings are going to help against the Colossi. But regardless, I mean, look at this army from Azz. Absolutely awesome.
Yeah, as adding the Phoenix there, you can see double Stargate coming out. There's Chrono Boost like mad coming out. Those Phoenix are going to just be able to wipe out the Vikings. If the Vikings do go down with just Marauders left, those Phoenix are going to just decimate the Marauders by just simply lifting them up. So we're going to see a big engagement here. A nuke does go down, though. I don't know if it's going to be enough for it to see it. The Ghost has channel. It does have a pretty good position, although the ball is getting out of the army. Azz is crawling right up there into the ball. The nuke will not land, and it looks like Azz is going to clean up the remaining army of DDE. DDE, this is going to push this into a 3rd game for sure. And it looks like Azz is going to sweep across, and DDE is going to have to pick another map, because Azz has definitely forced this into a 3rd game for VT, keeping them alive. I don't know how the other game's gone, but right now, looking at the the resource count, is a 50 food lead, 40 food lead, and the 3rd base of DDE is going to be crushed here as it moves away, actually. But just too much out for Azz right now, and the nuke didn't go off, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, even though it wouldn't have killed anything, it's always nice to see the beautiful plume, the mushroom cloud coming from that nuke. Always satisfying. I think a great screensaver is blowing up.
Yes.
I mean, that'd be awesome.
And there's the good game.
Yeah, GG's out of that game.
So hopefully stay tuned, guys. I don't know if we're going to have another match right away, depending on how the other match went, but we'll let you know in just a sec.